It's property tax time again. I'm going to tell you how we got here and give you a couple ideas on how we can start to dig our way out of it. So how did we get here? Going back in time to the COVID recession, the government decided it would be a great idea to dump just trillions of dollars into the economy. Most of us had a huge spike in our disposable income. And on top of that, they dumped trillions of dollars into banks, which allowed them to make loans more affordably. So mortgage interest rates were suppressed way below what they normally should be, down into the 3, in some cases even upper or mid 2% range, which is just totally crazy. So there were more people who were able to buy houses than there probably should have been at the time, and it cost us quite a bit less money to do so. The effect was, with all that demand, that prices began to surge ahead of schedule. And we saw that happen in the last few years, where we saw multiple offers, we saw bidding wars over properties, and all that caused our property values to rise pretty dramatically. Now, state law requires that the local appraisal districts assess and appraise properties based on what they think is their current market value. So with all-time high demand due to low interest rates and cheap money and a scarce amount of properties available, we saw our property values rise pretty dramatically over the last few years. And now our appraisal districts are having to reassess values and try to catch that value up. In some cases, they do a great job, and in some cases, not so much. So as our property values have risen, we do have to face the music that, like it or not, we're all going to be probably paying a little bit more in property taxes, or in some case, a lot more, as our property values have risen so much. That said, here are my 3 favorite steps we can all take to help keep our property tax number as low as we possibly can. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you have all your exemptions properly applied, and you'd be shocked at how many folks overlook this. But on that letter you get from the county, it should state on there which exemptions you currently have applied. If you notice you're missing something like your homestead exemption, which is by far the biggest one people miss, you want to make sure you reach out to the county and ask to have that applied. Most of them will have a form on their website that's pretty easy for you to do to go add that onto your file. Second, you want to check and see, has anything changed with your property? Since the last time you protested, has the roof started to fall apart? Have you noticed some more wood rot? Did your fence fall over? Did your driveway start cracking? Any details like that you can take photos of and provide that as part of your documentation as you submit for your protest. Now, this is a key point, is when we submit our protest request, it's not something where we want to talk about how upset we are. It's not something where we can complain about they've risen it by this much over the years. The only evidence we can bring is facts. So if you have a change in the material facts that could impact your property's value, bring that to the appraisal board and make it easier for them to do their job and lower that tax number for you. Which brings me to my third and most favorite tip of all. You want to make sure that you're comparing your property's assessed value, your appraised value, to real data from other properties. Now, there's 2 ways that I do this. First, we've got a tool that's called a market report that we set up for all of our clients. Happy to do that for you here as well. In fact, there's a link I'll share here at the end of the video and in the comments. If you go to rothbergrealtygroup.com/home value, we have a really easy automated analysis of your home's value. I love that because if the county's number is much higher than the data that's going on around you, in a lot of cases you can just print that thing up and include that with your packet as some evidence of what's truly happening in your neighborhood. Now, if you've got a tough case, or if it's been a long time since you've done so, it's probably time for you to have an in-person home valuation done. Walk through the house with you and make sure you have a real true understanding of what the actual market value is for your house, were you to sell it today. My other favorite technique for finding real information is looking at the county appraisal district's own appraised values for some of my neighboring properties. This is really easy to do. You can go to the county appraisal district website and you'll click on property search. Each county is a little bit different, but they all will have a property search button, and you can search by either subdivision or by a street. I like to find properties that are of a similar size, similar age, similar condition, and find that number that's lower than mine. What I'll do is I'll take a couple properties that have lower values and I'll average together their price per square foot. And when I do my property tax protest, my argument is simply a fairness argument. I'm going to say, compared to my neighbor's properties, my value is not fair. I want to be priced fairly the same way that they are. So if they're assessed at $400,000 and I'm at $430,000, I'm going to average that together and say, I think my property value should be $400,000. That's by far my favorite technique, and I see it's one of the most effective. When I combine their actual information with real sold data that I have, it's incredibly powerful. Now here's one last little bonus tip. If you've recently done a refinance, if you've recently sold the property or recently bought it, maybe did a HELOC or something, and you have an actual appraisal attached to that property, you can submit that as evidence as well. So the bottom line is we need to present real information and real data to help push our property tax number down. Now you may have additional question that we didn't answer here on this video, or if you have another real estate related question, we'd love to help out with that. So just email us at homes@rothbergrealtygroup.com, or you can also click on the link to go do your home valuation now and get that market report set up for you. Again, if there's anything else you need, just give us a shout, and hopefully this will help you keep that number down.